Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome sa Buhay OFW. Maligayang-maligaya po kami ngayon dahil kasama po natin ang napaka-dedicated, very hard-working ambassador ng Indonesia, ang nag-iisa, Ambassador Johannes Kristiarto Soeryo Legowo, the Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to the Philippines. Good evening, Mr. Ambassador.
Good evening, Marissa. How are you today?
I'm very fine, and you look so good. The last time I saw you was when I visited Madam Cecilia, your beautiful wife, and Mr. Ambassador, who just happened to play golf during that weekend in your residence.
Well, first of all, I would like to welcome you all to the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia, and thank you very much for having me in this program.
It's our pleasure, Mr. Ambassador. Ambassador Legowo, a lot of Filipinos are staying and working on high-level jobs in Indonesia. What do you think are the kind of skills that our Filipinos have?
Well, first of all, I need to mention that the number of the Filipino expatriates living in Indonesia are small compared to those in any other countries. But those who are in Indonesia are highly skilled professionals. And on this, I would like to thank them through you.
Thank you very much.
For their contribution to the economy of Indonesia. Most of them are professionals, work in the banking sectors, industry, minings, and I would like to mention also that we have so many talented musicians, and I believe that they are attracted to be in Indonesia because their talent and their skills are highly appreciated in my country.
Thank you very much. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, not everybody know that our Ambassador Legowo is a very good singer and he can sing Tagalog songs. Later ho, pasisilip namin sa inyo yung kanyang beautiful music. Ambassador Legowo, a lot of people are noticing the Filipinos and the Indonesians that have a lot of things in common. Our fair skin, of course in the food, the cuisine. What can you say about these similarities, Mr. Ambassador?
Well, of course, the similarity can become an asset in our joint effort to enhance the bilateral relations between our two countries. And that is why, that is one aspect why we admire all the Filipino workers who work in Indonesia, because they have the ability to adapt to the local situations. And I think that is because we have a lot of similarity, for example, in cultures. And because of that also, we always feel comfortable working with our Filipino friends. I think all the employers, they are happy with the performance of our Filipino friends.
Ambassador Legowo, why is your Indonesian cuisine so good?
Well, actually, our cuisine is quite very much similar to what you have here in the Philippines. That is why I enjoy very much my stay here in the Philippines, because also of the cuisines. Well, with a country with a lot of diversity in culture, it's not surprising that we have a lot of variety also in our cuisine. And I could say that every province in Indonesia, they have their own and unique cuisine. And this could be attributed also to the abundance of spices that we always use. And in addition to that also, we got a lot of influence from the traditions from other countries, like from India, from China, from Europe, and everything. But at least you can find one in common. Our cuisine is always rich, aromatic, and full of flavor.
Yes, that's right. Mr. Ambassador, Ambassador Legowo, I would just like to ask you, a lot of our employers from Indonesia really love the Filipino workers.
Well, of course, beside their skills and their ability, at least there are three things that I could mention. First, their proficiency in English, and the way they speak English is very much easy for us to understand. And second, I mentioned before, their ability to adapt to the local conditions. And I think that is because of the similarities that we have in terms of culture, for example. So we always feel comfortable working with our Filipino friends. And the third one, we always see the Filipino people have passions in everything that they do. And on this, because of this also, we see the Filipino people, when they do their jobs, they do it with a lot of dedications because they have passion.
I would like now to ask Mr. Ambassador Legowo, the tourist attractions aside, of course, we have 17,000 beautiful islands. I am a tourist. Where do you want me to go?
Well, of course, we have a lot of things to offer. And of course, that will very much depend on your interests. For example, diving.
Yes.
Beside Bali, we have developed Bunaken and Raja Ampat. I think those are two places has become one of the most famous diving spot in Indonesia. We have a growing number of foreign tourists coming from many countries, including from the Philippines, going to those two places. And they are just wonderful, and it is not far away from the Philippines. So with this, I would like to invite more Filipinos to come to Indonesia and
try
enjoy
and
the
dive.
spots. Yeah. And
Wonderful.
for example, if you're interested more in culture and heritage, beside Bali, we have Yogyakarta, we have West Sumatra, where you can see all the temples, the palace, and everything.
All the historical landmarks, huh?
Correct, yes.
Ambassador Legowo, I would like to ask you, because recently we had the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and the business delegation from Indonesia. We were there. What is the business climate in Indonesia right now?
Well, I'm not saying that everything has been rosy, but I can confirm to you that we are now on the right track.
Yes.
Because when we want to attract investment, we have to win the confidence of the potential investors. And one of the emphasis that we've been doing so far is eradications of corruptions. Since 2002, we have established a very powerful body called the Commission for the Eradication of Corruptions, and they've been very successful. They have a record of 100% convictions.
Wonderful.
With this, I think we are able to attract more investors. And for your information, our Commission for the Eradication of Corruptions, they just got the Ramon Magsaysay Award from the Philippines. I think this kind of recognition is really a good encouragement for us to improve further the investment climate in Indonesia.
Ambassador Legowo, how many overseas Filipino workers on top level working in
I
Indonesia?
think I could say around 500 to 1,000.
500 to 1,000.
Yes.
And have you had an encounter with them professionally?
Well, not professionally, but I have the privilege to meet them as friends.
Oh, wonderful. That's most important. So, what is the category of the friends that you have met?
Well, most of them are professionals, bankers, CEO in some big companies in Indonesia, musicians and teachers. Because when I was in Jakarta, all of my kids, they study in international schools, in which we had so many Filipino teachers working in that school.
Wow,
Through
that's
that,
nice.
then I have the privilege to meet all of them, and seems that they all happy to stay in my country, as I'm very much happy also to live here in the Philippines.
That's true. And I learned that this is your first post.
Yeah,
Your
as
first
ambassador.
Post
As ambassador.
Okay, wow. The
But-
Philippines is the first.
Yeah, but in
Wonderful.
terms of assignment, this is my fourth assignment.
Fourth assignment.
Yeah.
Mr. Ambassador, Ambassador Legowo, how do you strengthen the ties between our two countries, the Philippines and Indonesia?
Well, first of all, I need to emphasize that we always attach with importance to our relations with the Philippines. My president always say that the Philippines is not only our close neighbor, it's not only our close friend, but more importantly, the Philippines is also our strategic partners in the region. And of course, we are so happy that I could confirm to you our relation is problem-free, but of course, complacent is not an option. And that is why we are now working very closely with your Department of Foreign Affairs in developing what we call plan of actions, through which we would like to bring the already robust relationship that happily exists between our two countries in a high level. Through this, we would like to identify sectors, sectors that we should focus on, mainly in the economy and cultural sectors.
Ambassador Legowo, how do you find your stay in the Philippines?
It can be expressed only by one word.
Yes.
Very pleasant.
Ambassador Legowo, what is the upcoming events, trade expo do we have in Indonesia very soon?
Yeah, I think in 2 weeks' time, we will have Indonesia Trade Expo, and I'm happy to mention to you that we will have around 22 business people from the Philippines participating in that trade expo. And we envisage that a lot of transaction could be made that could be beneficial to the economy of our two countries. And I am pleased to mention also that the trade volume between our two countries is always growing stronger and stronger.
Ambassador Legowo, what are the tips that you would like to give our overseas Filipino workers who would like to work in Indonesia?
Well, first of all, I would like to mention that I believe that they will not have any difficulties when they have to come to Indonesia and work there. But I think they could do better if they could speak the language. Well, although now we have a growing number of Indonesians speaking good English, but I think that will be very beneficial if they could speak our national language also, because it is widely spoken all over the country. Second, of course, I would like to suggest they should actively establishing networking. And I think that will not be difficult also for them, because as I mentioned to you, we always feel comfortable working with our friends from the Philippines. And third, I think they should explore the country as much as possible.
Ambassador Legowo, can you please give us a message for our overseas Filipino workers in Indonesia and to our Indonesian people as well and the Philippines?
Well, to all of our Filipino friends who work in Indonesia, first of all, I would like to thank you all for your contribution to the Indonesian economy. And of course, it is our joint responsibility to bring the already strong relationship that happily exists between our two countries to a high level. We should continue working together, not only for the benefit of the people in our two countries, but also to the people in ASEAN, especially when we are now transforming ASEAN to be a community in 2015.